everyone. There's 2 of us today.
Yeah, just the 2 of us.
Yeah,
I can burn a tortilla if I try.
I can burn a tortilla if I try.
What? I don't think. I mean, you can just burn it if you don't try. That's how I usually cook.
Hi. Yeah, we're here. Why is it
Hi.
that
Yeah,
shit?
we're
Get
here.
That shit
Why
out
is
of
it?
here.
If it helps, there are technically 3 of us because I have a child in the background who, for some reason, has thrown herself in a comforter and just sat there to stare sadly at me because I'm not currently hanging out with her.
I wonder if you can see. Yeah, there's loot.
You can see. Yeah, there's
Hey!
Shit. Gotta go. Do the tortilla thing. Do the tortilla thing. I've only got like 3 or 4 more. Man, I can't wait for when my smoke alarm goes off for whatever reason.
Does it do that a lot?
It used to a whole lot more. And now it doesn't. So.
Well, that's good, unless it needs to go off.
Shit. Fuck. Shit. Fuck. There? Yes, maybe? Hi, Tim.
Yes, maybe.
Hi.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, Tim's here.
Boop. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
There's
great.
Tim's not face.
Not.
I could do it again. So, anyways, yeah, my house is like hot as heck.
My house is hot as heck.
And it's because I've spent the last period of time cooking. So I had like bread baking. Hey. There we go. I had bread baking. So that's always very hot.
But a very good thing to do.
Uh-huh. I'm a fan.
I mean, maybe if you like bread.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do.
Especially
Especially.
now we're in San Francisco. We went to Pudding Bakeries, I want to say it's called, but apparently it's like known for its sour bread.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so we brought some home, and not only have we enjoyed it, our cat has also been absolutely fiending for it. And we looked it up, and apparently cats are like, their sense of smell is incredibly sensitive to yeast specifically.
Oh, okay. Neat.
Yeah, and we're like, okay, that makes sense. But you're still not supposed to have that much.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of those things that, like, so a lot of, popular knowledge is that, like, oh, dogs can't have gluten. And
Yeah.
it's
Cats can't have grape ice cream.
well, I mean,
I mean,
animals can't do
they can't have
grapes.
grape.
Yeah. Grapes in general are very bad for pets.
And don't give ice cream to your cat, because they will poop themselves a lot.
Yeah. Which is probably a dairy thing, because you could get, like,
it's
pet ice
specifically
cream.
dairy.
Yeah. Because that's the same with dogs. Like, dogs should not be fed cheese. A lot of people feed their dogs cheese, and it's not good for them. But it's not like chocolate or grapes or something, because there's like 2 tiers of bad for your animal, and they're all treated the same. They're like, oh, you're gonna give your dog gluten, they'll die. It's like, I mean, yes, if you give them like way too much, but they'll also do that if you give them just way too much food. Yeah. Yeah. It's the same. Oh, like beer's the same way. Now, you shouldn't give your animal beer or liquor at all.
Yeah.
But it's not because beer is poisonous to dogs. It's because beer is poisonous to literally all things.
Yep.
And so it's not the issue with like, oh no, dogs can't handle it. It's like, oh no, dogs can't handle it. There's the amount of beer that they could handle is much less than people
you can handle
think.
several drinks because your body weight is like 10 times that of your pet. And that's if you're like a small person.
Not quite. Not quite.
I mean, if like my animals are 12 pounds, so 10 times that is 120.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. My animal, which is on the smaller side of medium, if Loot was if I was 10 times Loot's weight, I would be 350 pounds. So
yeah, if you're a small person.
So yeah, a small person. Yeah. A small person.
Yeah.
Man, now I just need to get a puppy, and then I can be like 50 pounds. 50 pounds. That's how this works, right?
But it will increase very rapidly.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, baked some bread. Baked some bread. Did some sandwich bread and a boule, so I could make like some nice fancy avocado toast.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at me. That's why I can't afford anything.
You're gonna lose your house.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. But if you donate to our Patreon, no. But if you donate to our Patreon, and then I also, I've got, let me bring it in there. Well, actually, it's still in the oven, so it's probably a little hot. So let me grab a hot pad. For Christmas, my mom gave me a cast iron skillet. And I already had two. But she gave me a really small one. It's a nice little small cast iron skillet.
Big cookie sized.
Yeah, but it was really fucked up. Like really seriously fucked up. It had all sorts of gunk just on it, and to the point where like you couldn't scrape it off or anything. If you might notice, there was like a shiny part on the backside, and that's where my dad apparently tried using a belt sander on it, which is unfortunate, as you will soon come to learn.
No, I mean I can just guess that.
So it was useless at the time. It was like worthless. So I needed to bring it down all the way to the stainless steel, the cast iron itself, and get rid of all of the coating and all of the seasoning and everything. And that takes like a ton of work.
Yeah.
And you have to use lye. So you know, you gotta use gloves because lye just burns your flesh.
Oh, is that bad?
Yeah, generally. So, you know, did like 6 rounds of these lye baths, and eventually got it down. Found out like how to do it based off of a r/cast irons Reddit thread, telling me how to do it. And when I posted it, I was like, is it even worth it? And they're like, well, you know, you don't know what brand it is under there, but it looks like it could be a Griswold. I was like, cool, what the fuck's a Griswold? Like,
yeah. You just immediately go to Reddit and be like, alright, r/Griswold.
Yeah, I'm not a fucking, like, cast iron aboo. Like, what do you expect me to know here? What do you expect me to know here? So they told me, and then I looked it up afterwards. Griswold was a cast iron company, cast iron skillet company that went away a couple years back. Like a while back. But it went out of business because like people were switching over to non-stick and other things. But it is well known as the best company to produce cast iron skillets of all time, and it was just too small to make it through the change. And they like a tiny pan like that goes for $350 like minimum.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it a Griswold?
It's a Griswold. I got it like after the second time going through clearing it out. I was like, holy shit, this is incredible.
What a wild find.
Yeah. And my mom was saying something about like when she got it at some estate sale or whatever, she was told some bullshit about it being from the Civil War and stuff, and it isn't. But like, I'm not worried about that because first of all, most cast iron skillets that were around in the Civil War period are just not usable. Because they were used to melt down lead for bullets and stuff. And once you melt lead in something, it is unusable for food ever again.
Yeah, because there's lead in it.
Yes, and you will never get that out.
Like,
but what if you use lye?
Nope, you will never get the lead out. Your food will taste really sweet though, so that's cool. But yeah, that's why like if you ever find one and you test it for lead, then you're supposed to like drill a hole in it so that it can never be used for food.
Oh, so you should just make it so that no one can accidentally do it?
Yeah. Because you know, people.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Oh, well, like people will still hold on to them as like this is a really cool Civil War era cast iron skillet, which is cool. But you know, then you die and your son gets it, and they now just
then they get lead poisoning.
Then they kill themselves. Yeah.
Weird thing to inherit from your parents, lead poisoning.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I love that like. In general, the things I know about cast iron are things like you're not supposed to use soap when cleaning it because you don't want to destroy the seasoning and the like the coating. And I was like, what about a belt sander?
Well, here's the thing about that, because yes, that was the common knowledge not to use soap on it. But that's the common knowledge from like 50 to 100 years ago. Because back then, soap used to have lye in it, and lye is pretty much the only thing that'll break through that. Nowadays, use soap, please. For the love of health and safety, use soap.
That's good to know.
Yeah, use soap.
Everyone has always said that. And
yes.
Not from 50 years ago. From 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, that's because their parents told them to do it, and nobody ever bothered to check. Yeah, no, it's... Please use soap. Just make sure you dry it thoroughly. I mean, because
did you used to need gloves to use soap?
No, there was less of it in there. It was. I mean, you can still buy lye soaps nowadays. When you make soap and you use lye, you have to wear gloves because it's concentrated. But when it's soap, yeah, it's less. Yeah, it's
bad. How did people wash their hands?
I mean, and it's really good at washing hands because you know.
Oh yeah, because your hands are gone.
Because it takes everything off.
You know what else is really good at washing hands? Hydrochloric acid.
Yeah, I was gonna say pumice, because pumice is also a thing people used.
But pumice is a little more gentle about it. It removes, you know, the dead skin, not your skin.
Yeah. So yeah, now, like, with that, now that I've got it, I had two options. I could either sell it, or I could keep it. and use it. And as someone who likes cooking and stuff, I just decided I'm gonna keep it, especially since it's been belt sanded, so that removed a lot of the worth. My dad was really sheepish when I told him. Because I didn't know it was him. I genuinely didn't know it was him. I was like, hey, guys, you know, you remember that like crapped up cast iron skillet you gave me, and they took offense at that, and I was like, no, it was crap. You could not use that.
Guys, you belt sanded it.
Well,
Sorry,
no.
Someone belt sanded it. It's obviously
No, it was like had so much gunk on it, it was screwed up. And
okay, but ignoring that, it was belt sanded.
Yeah.
That by itself makes it usually not considered a great quality pan anymore.
Yeah. So
regardless of if it's cast iron.
Yeah, I was telling them about this, and I told them the story about how they had told me it might be a Griswold, and what that would mean, and about how much that could be worth. And I was like, but, you know, and my mom was saying, oh, you should definitely sell it. I was like, well, I mean, first of all, it's known as one of the best types of cast iron skillets for a reason, because it's like really good. So since I cook, I probably want something that's actually really good. And she's like, oh, well, you know, still, I mean, like $350. That's a minimum. That's not bad. I was like, well, yeah, but you know, it also is depreciated a little bit considering someone, I guess, tried to belt sand the stuff off of it. And they just got quiet.
So funny.
And I had genuinely not even considered that my dad could have been the one to do that. Which doesn't make sense because he's got a fucking shop. He's been a craftsman for decades. He's got a belt sander. But you know, no, just didn't even.
A lot of people have belt sanders.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, but like I don't have a belt sander. I've got a bunch of tools, but
my
I don't.
dad also has a belt sander. So I guess in my mind, I know 2 adults that have a belt sander. Therefore, it is a very common thing for adults.
Yeah. Hey Tim, do you have a belt sander?
A
belt sander?
Yep. What about your dad? Does your dad have a belt sander?
What about your dad?
He absolutely has a belt sander.
Yeah, I figured it would. Knowing your dad, I kind of assumed.
Honestly, the only reason I don't currently have one and don't have plans to get one is I don't have a workshop.
Yeah. I also don't have a workshop.
That would change.
I just don't think I have enough things that I would need a belt sander for.
Yeah, same. I mean, like, I do carpentry, but I don't ever think of, like, I don't ever need a belt sander. I just need a belt sander. Everything I do is small enough, I just sand it.
Honestly, I am interested in carpentry. This is not the year to start working on something outside.
Yes.
Outside.
Oh man, I'm getting a headache with how hot it is right now.
I'm so sorry.
I keep my house at like 62. Is that right? Feels wrong. Is that right? 72. Feels wrong. Here we go. 62 would.
I was like, I know you guys don't mind cold, but like that's pretty cold for summer.
If I could,
that's a lot of AC.
If I could, I would. But yes.
I mean,
yeah, 72.
Just, yeah, it cost you all your money.
All of it. So I keep it at 72. Right now it's at 78. Because of baking bread and then seasoning the cast iron skillet a couple times, which you know keeps the oven around 450. And because yeah, fun thing when you take all the seasoning off with lye, then there is no seasoning. And that's kind of important.
It's kind of how cast iron works. That's basically the entire point of it.
Yeah. But I'm actually kind of happy about doing this because I get to make sure that the seasoning's done really well, and it's gonna be Non-stick for scrambled eggs when I'm done with it.
You said that like it's a phrase that makes people understand what that might mean.
Have you ever tried to scramble eggs in a cast iron skillet?
No, because I'm not dumb.
Yeah, exactly, because it's really
it's
freaking hard.
Exactly,
Yeah,
because it's really
but
freaking
if
hard.
you get the seasoning
But
correctly,
if you
then
get the
it's
seasoning
non-stick the same
correctly,
as
then it's
Teflon.
non-stick the same
Here's the thing.
as
I understand that cast iron is good, and I
Yeah.
I do like using it for a lot of things.
Yeah.
The cleaning of it being like forcibly by hand, although now I know at least you can use soap. Enough that I'm just like, I mean, I'm just making food for me. I don't really need it to be done in a cast iron. I'm
So
just cooking a couple of things.
you said forcibly by hand. Does that mean you put your non-stick Teflon in the dishwasher or something?
No, I don't. But like that's like all the nonstick is much easier to clean because nothing sticks to it. So like
Yeah.
you can get it visibly clean using just water. Obviously, I still use soap, but I mean like it comes off that easily.
Yeah. Yeah. What character are you using?
Riju, the girl that has the like uncontrollable seal as her weapon. Because I have to for these missions.
I remember having seen the character before with the uncontrollable seal. I just didn't remember like why she exists and where she comes from.
Oh, she comes from the future.
Okay.
Does that clear it out?
Okay. No, but I'll accept it.
She comes from Breath of the Wild days.
Ah.
And this game is a prequel, so she came from Breath of the Wild days to this one.
Yeah.
Using robot time travel.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, bread, seasoning cast iron, making tortillas, which just has a hot stove. Also, pre-cooking some ground beef and onions just to freeze. It's just a really handy thing to have on hand.
Yeah, I need to grind some of the pork that I have, so I just have it in the freezer.
Yeah, that I do the same thing. It's just I really like taking ground beef and onions and just cooking them down and then freezing that as is. So if I want to make chili, like chili dogs or something, just pull it out and do that. If I want to do like taco meat, I just pull it out and add some seasonings to it.
I refuse to eat chili dogs that are made with like actual chili. Like the only chili that I think should be on chili dogs are the like 98-cent cans that you get from any grocery store that are very clearly not like it is like chili sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like I think they are supposed to be chili sauce, so it's fine because they're not actually supposed to be chili, but like it is certainly like you get it and you're like, yep, that's definitely something that you can put on a chili dog for some reason. I'm never judging anyone who does it, but man, it's just significantly more fun to just be like, yeah, this cost me 25 cents. I put it in a pan and it was can-shaped until it heated up enough.
And then it just slightly oozed out a little bit. But it was still mostly can-shaped for a really long time.
Thankfully, the kind I've gotten doesn't actually stay can-shaped at all. Like, when you pour it out, it stops being that. Because whenever soup is like that, I'm just like, never mind, I'm good. I'll eat something else.
Yeah.
Cranberry sauce, that's the worst one. I already don't like cranberry sauce, but whenever I see it pop out of a can, I'm like, no.
Cranberry jelly is my go-to
Jelly, that's
for
the one.
Thanksgiving. Because I hate cranberry sauce. So, but I love the taste of cranberries, so cranberry jelly is my way to go. And the ghetto tube shape and all.
I can't with that tube shape. I don't think I like cranberry.
Okay.
It's like the most. Okay. I don't know. The fact that it's in every possible combination with anything else is still weird to me.
Because like my favorite type of muffin is cranberry muffins. I like the tartness it adds. Without being like particularly unpleasant. That some
I think
tart
tart
things
might be
can
one of those made-up flavors.
Regular cranberry or cranberry orange muffins? Cranberry or cranberry orange muffins?
Regular cranberry.
Orange muffins by themselves are good, though.
I've never had a cranberry muffin that didn't have orange in it. I'm not entirely sure what that would do to the flavor.
Well, it would be tart and
It would be less citrus.
yeah. Yeah, they're my favorite type. So that's I don't make cranberry sauce. But I still, when Thanksgiving comes around, buy a whole bunch of bags of cranberries because that's one of the only times they're in stock in a lot of places. Just buy them and freeze them.
I always find it really weird how light cranberries are.
Yeah, they're pretty light.
Like, you hold one, and it doesn't feel real. It feels like it's made from styrofoam or something.
Especially because it's like kind of hard. Like it's light, but it's not like it's light like a blueberry, but like a blueberry squishes. Cranberries don't until they cook mostly. I mean, they've got a little squish, but
Anything will squish if you squish it hard enough.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, anything will squish if you squish it at all, because that's what the word squish means.
Yeah, but then we're getting into elastic versus inelastic deformation. That's a bit too much science for this show.
Well, then some things might not squish if you squish it hard enough.
No, you were right. Everything squishes if you squish it hard enough.
Because if you squish it at all, then it has squished, and therefore you have now done it. And if you try to squish it and it doesn't squish, but instead shatters, then it won't squish because you didn't squish it. You shattered it.
No, it definitely squished first, just not very far.
I don't think that's true. You just said it's not true, and now you're going against it.
No, literally everything will squish, with the possible exception of neutronium isn't the actual word, but whatever it is you find in the middle of a pulsar. Pure neutron matter.
I don't find anything in a pulsar.
That stuff doesn't squish. There is no room to squish that.
That's true. You also would not be able to squish whatever is in the middle of a pulsar star because or proton star or whatever it is. Because once you got there, your body would be crushed from the sheer gravity of it. Because yes,
water molecules.
No, but it would explode them. Like they would no longer be water molecules. You are correct. It could not squish water molecules. But the oxygen and hydrogen it would rip them into would be squished.
Yeah. And you would probably explode.
You would have solid oxygen and solid hydrogen.
You can't squish streams, Tim.
Weird thing about water is I think when you squish it, it actually expands if you squish it hard enough.
Because you're forcing
That's
it into
why
a
ice
solid
floats.
state.
Yep.
Actually, I don't.
Ice expands when it freezes.
Yes, naturally.
But that's not squished. You wouldn't say that I froze an orange and therefore it's squished.
Well, the thing is, when you freeze an orange, you're lowering the temperature. You can actually create very, very hot ice. You do it by increasing the pressure on the water while maintaining the volume, which will raise the temperature and also probably eventually turn the thing into a solid.
I don't want ice that can boil my drink, Tim.
I didn't say you would want it, but it would exist.
That would be very funny. You just take some ice cubes out, put it in your drink just boils away. You're like,
Your drink just instantly sublimates. Like,
Yeah.
hey, look, no drink.
And then the ice cubes melt, and then you have water, and you're like, I mean, That's what I had beforehand, so I guess it's fine. But now my water's hot.
Task failed successfully.
Failed successfully.
Mizuki, what are you doing?
So this week I got Loot a new type of brush, and it is super effective.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It in the 3 times, because I got it Monday. I have brushed her 3 times since then, and each time I've created a loot-sized pile of fur.
I need something like that for our cat. We took him to the vet today, and like in the car, I think he lost 2 pounds of fur. And it is still in the car, even after I attempted to vacuum it.
Yeah.
He also screamed a lot.
Oh.
We didn't actually know he had a scream louder than his "I want food" scream, but apparently he does.
Huh.
Yeah, it was loud. We felt really bad.
And then Tim disappears into the mountains. So, them Olympics. Am I right?
Sure. I haven't really been watching a whole lot of them.
I never do.
I watched some of the skateboarding, actually, because that's in the Olympics.
Oh yeah.
You want to know who they got to like come on and like talk a bit about stuff?
Was it damn, what's his name? Shit. Tony Hawk?
Yeah, Tony Hawk.
Because I know Tony Hawk was there to support one of the American
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
skaters. Yeah, the really young girl. It's also kind of funny seeing the skaters there because they're all really young. Because in general, you do not get old skating.
Tony Hawk did somehow.
Yeah, he did.
Even though he is still skating.
Yeah.
It's not so much that you don't get old skating, it's just that you do not grow old while still skating. At some point, an injury will stop you from skating.
Yeah. Wonder what temperature my house is at now. Still 78. There's nothing actively on. It's just my house is just blazing hot. And there's nothing I can do. I've downed like 7 cups of cold water today.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the required amount.
Well, it's more than.
The required amount is supposed to be like 64 ounces.
Yes, you are supposed to intake 8 cups of water per day, but much of that actually comes through food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a quarter of that or more comes
like
through
a quarter of that or more.
food and other things. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you get a lot of your water from food, but I did not know that when they tell you that amount, they're not taking into account the food part of it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the American education system doesn't teach you anything.
Correct. Yeah. And what they do teach you, they teach you wrong.
Yes.
They teach you wrong.
Like how
But
to clean.
Clean a cast iron? Yeah. Clean a cast iron?
Yeah, everyone kept telling me to use a belt sander for some reason.
Oh. I love it. So, it must be nice to be rich, because, have you heard about what's happening at the, Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
No.
Which is the multi-purpose stadium dome in Atlanta.
Place the George Dome.
Yeah. And it's where the Atlanta Falcons are, and the Atlanta United are, and also Kanye, because Kanye just is renting the stadium and living there.
Like for fun?
Why?
Well, I mean,
Why?
He's working on a song or whatever, an album, and while he's doing it, he's just renting the stadium and living there.
if I remember correctly, he also had a, like, not concert, but like he had an appearance where he was gonna like come out and like drop the new album or whatever, and he walked out, said nothing, and then left, and then didn't drop anything, and everyone was just like, "Oh, what a legend!" And we were like, "You paid to be there. He scammed you. What are you talking about? Why were you excited about that?"
No, you don't understand. He gave his performance of 4 minutes 22 seconds.
No, because he wasn't even out there that long, Tim.
He was doing it from a distance.
Abridged.
Yes. The abridged 4 minutes 22 seconds.
Oh. But yeah, it must be nice to just be able to rent out a stadium just to live at. You know.
Yeah.
Just, hey, I'm gonna go live somewhere.
You just say, "Hey, can I have this?" And they're like, "I mean, I guess."
Well, we didn't talk about it last week, but you know, rich people and their dicks in space.
Yep.
On the bright side, they're not astronauts, according
Correct.
to in the greatest possible term. They were just like, who is it? The NAA or something like that?
FAA.
FAA, yeah.
Yeah. FAA just being like, "Hey, we've changed the definition of astronaut because that wasn't it."
Yep.
And that's I saw someone be like, "Yeah, that makes sense because the passenger on a cruise ship isn't a sailor."
Nope. And when I take a flight, I'm not the pilot.
Yeah.
Yes, I flew on a plane, therefore I am a pilot. I can fly planes.
But the problem here is, this is going to call into question whether or not the Mercury 7 were astronauts.
Why?
Because they weren't in control of the spacecraft either.
Did they do space things while they were out there?
And that they were the first people in space, yes.
Yeah.
Most of it was
go.
just existing there while the doctors recorded data on them.
That's the astronaut thing.
Which one was this? Say it again.
Mercury, the first American astronauts.
Okay. So Mercury 7.
So I think breaking new ground counts as an astronaut thing.
Yeah, that is fair.
Which also, I believe, a lot of these, like John Glenn was one of them. I don't think you can say that he wasn't an astronaut.
No, unless he built a space shuttle with his bare hands, he does not count.
Man. But aren't you glad that thanks to all the people pissing in bottles, he got to go to space?
Yeah, I love that he was just like, hey, thanks, people who work for Amazon, you paid for this. And they're like,
fuck you.
Were you supposed to say that one out loud, or?
Yeah, we didn't want to pay for this. Yeah, we didn't want to pay for this.
That was like GM notes that he just accidentally read.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how about that Steam Deck?
Also a thing, huh? What is it? I know that got like pre-orders out. Do we have any idea when it might actually happen?
Is it later this year and early next year?
I want to say November, but I can't say.
Yeah, I think mostly November, and then the expensive one that's the only one that's worthwhile is later.
Yeah, shipping in December 2021. So February.
Yeah.
February. So basically, the whole thing about this is it's a handheld PC in the form factor of a Switch.
Yes.
Yeah.
With a terrible control scheme.
Yeah.
It looks so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about this on the Glowing Weak Point podcast about just none of the controls look like they were designed by a human. Because like normally
playing games on your PC, you can pick a controller and or your mouse and keyboard.
Yeah. So like here's a PlayStation controller. And here, if I want to use the instead of the D-pad, the analog stick, I just rotate my thumb. You see that? Rotate. That doesn't stretch the thumb at all. It's just rotating. Now, let's see. With the Steam Deck, I have to stretch it directly across because they're directly adjacent for literally no good reason.
I think the problem is they decided on the form factor before figuring out where the hardware would go.
Yeah.
It's just like WoW, because no one else has done that yet. Like, no one else has made a bad controller.
Yeah, I agree. Nintendo has certainly never made a bad controller. They've only made the best controllers.
Steam has certainly never made a bad controller.
Hey, N64 controller is the best.
I agree. That's what I was saying. But yeah, no, like that's another thing that I have an issue with is that this is a Steam hardware. Hardware from Valve. Let's look at the history of hardware from Valve. Well, we've got the Steam Link. Anyone remember that?
I use it. I have it downstairs.
Really? You use it? What do you use it for? Really?
Not much.
What do you use it for? Yeah. That's
It's just easier to play on the computer. But there are occasional games, basically any game I want to play with my wife that like we don't want to sit in the hot office to play instead of like being on like a TV.
Yeah.
So like when we play Persona 4, that was recently released on Steam, so we're gonna we have that, so we're just gonna play it on a TV because it's big.
Yeah. So Steam Link, which most people either haven't heard of or won't use, or have and don't use, and wasn't particularly well supported by Steam. And then there's the Steam controller, which just literally was never supported by Steam. There's not a single game that natively works with the Steam controller. Like, if you want to use the Steam controller, you better hope that someone's already designed a 12-page guide on how to set it up for whatever game you're gonna play. And it's not like you can set it up and then it just works, because you've got to find the guide for the game you're going to play.
Like, if Steam wants to make money, how about they just make games again? Like, what happened to making games?
I was joking when I said that they were going to push it back to February, but just today, or possibly yesterday, Steam announced that it's pushing back the release date for the Steam Deck until second quarter of 22, so no sooner than April.
Yep. Yeah.
So here's the thing about the, the hardware comparison between the Steam Deck and the Switch. The Steam Deck can play League of Legends with its current hardware. The Switch cannot. This makes the Switch the superior piece of hardware.
Nope. You are halfway correct. You're halfway correct in that hardware-wise, the Steam Deck can. But the native version of the Steam Deck cannot play League of Legends because the base version of the Steam Deck cannot fit League of Legends on the Steam Deck. There is not enough room on it to do that. You can play Destiny 2, except you literally can't because it won't fit on the Steam Deck.
I think it's pretty big. But Tim, I do agree that its ability to even download some of League of Legends makes it a worse platform.
This was one of the things that they actually specifically tested, was its ability to play League of Legends. They sent out one of the base versions to a tester. Oh shit. A tester. Where's my phone?
But like,
crazy.
How do you even control that?
Crazy.
Okay, so I'm wondering what happened here, because the minimum spec for the Steam Deck is 64 gigs, right? League is only 22 when it's fully unpacked.
That's a lot. Jesus. What do they even need 22 gigs for?
Yeah, it is 64.
120-something champions.
Champions. It's like, what, 5 textures for each champion?
More.
Yeah, I know.
There's only like 50 textures for each champion.
Well, for each skin. So that's only 5,000 skins?
Yeah. Well, and then, like, here's the thing that I really hate about this, is that the Steam Deck is designed... It's a portable PC.
That's a strong word.
Correct. It's intended to be a portable PC. And the anti-glare glass is only on the $649 top tier version. You know, anti-glare glass, the literal requirement for being able to play not inside of a room, and even still, if you're in a room and there's a window near you, or there's a lamp behind you, you're screwed.
Just buy a laptop.
That's what I'm saying. There's only one real version of the Steam Deck, and it is the $649 one, because otherwise you're just not getting a product.
Like, it's such a weird, like, they were clearly just like, oh, the Switch did good, let's just make something that looks like the Switch. That's not why the Switch did good. It wasn't good just because, like, it was that shape. It was good because it could slot into somewhere instantly to be a console, and also was good on the go.
Oh, and that's something I love about this.
No one wants to be able to leave their house with it that much. Everyone just wants to be able to play it while pooping. That's all that they want.
Correct. Yes. Correct. That is what.
And then walk into the main room again, put it back on their console, and start playing it again.
Or like play it while laying in bed. But that's what it's got. A dock sold separately. That allows it to hook up to your TV. But it's not a Switch. Like a Switch, you dock it, you pull the controllers out of it, and then you can still play. Like, you don't have to have anything else with you. And yes, I know the Pro Controller exists and it's superior, but like, you still...
the option.
Yeah, you have that there. I don't have to buy a controller to do this. It's like you've built a controller to do this thing, and now.
So wait, how does the Switch thing or the
dock?
Steam thing work? Like when you dock it, how do you then play with it?
It has some USB ports on the dock, so I guess you could hook up
Your cable?
yeah, either a really long keyboard or mouse cable, or wireless, or maybe you hook up an Xbox controller. Oh wait, you can just do that on anything else.
The dock is just we invented a worse version of the Steam Deck.
Yeah. Basically. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because I could consider this. Like, this is something I'd be interested in.
For a second, I was like, interesting, and then I remembered.
Yeah, it's like, cool. There have been loads of times that I've been like, man, I really want to play Minecraft, but I don't want to sit at my fucking desk. I want to do it while I'm watching TV or, you know, something in the other room. And yes, Pocket Edition exists, but let's ignore that forever. But, you know, there have been games that I want to play, and I can't because I want to be comfortable while doing it, and this seems like it would, you know, I want a portable PC that isn't a laptop. But no, this just.
But this isn't it.
This isn't it. That's what it is. The character looked like Urbosa. The one with the yeah, and
because they are both Gerudo.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And it was weird seeing, especially with the lightning attacks that you're performing and going, like, are you, like, did she change? Are you like a different form? No, just a different
young
person.
Urbosa.
No, just a different person.
I mean, they are both chieftains of their people at various points in time, but
yeah. Yeah, the Steam Deck, I mean, people will buy it. Lots of people will buy it.
Yeah, people are already excited about it, and I'm just like, I just think you should get a laptop.
I think it's a swing and a miss. In my
I thought you were gonna say it's a steal, but I thought you meant from like Steam was stealing from you.
Oh, it's a steal, like Jeff Bezos.
It's a steal, like Jeff Bezos. Yeah. It's still 78.
Another good segment. What temperature is John's house?
Thank you. I'll be here all day.
You have the wildest possible segments I've ever heard of, because it's just you doing like regular life things. And join us next week for when John just kind of dusts his shelf.
They are getting a little dusty. Now, actually,
Just like I've set up a dust cam so you can really see.
Oh, I like it. A Dust
And everyone's
cailing.
like, yeah, we didn't really ask for that.
Did someone say they asked for it? Here we go! Here's more! Here we go! Here's more! Nope, next week will be very different. I have a surprise. Although we're not doing... No, we're not doing Party Patrol anyways.
True.
Which is unfortunate because it would actually be a good week to do it, based off of the surprise I have coming. But
Is it loot 2?
loot 2?
Yeah.
Loot 2? Wait. No loot, we're not replacing you.
No, it's not a replacement. Oh, no. You must understand. I meant the instrument.
Oh.
It is a supplement to loot.
No,
Something
that's-
to make loot even lootier.
That's loot DLC.
This is a second loot.
Yes. It's like Peggle 2.
Pickle 2. Ugh. Ugh. Loot went somewhere and met another doggy today, and she did not like it. The doggy was very, very rambunctious, and she just didn't have time for that shit.
Yeah, that's fair. We had 70's sister came over the other day because she was dropping off something for her parents, and she brought their puppy along, Misha, who's a I think 8 months old dachshund now.
Okay.
And he's very excitable, just like Mizuki is, but it actually took her a while to get used to him because she just like did not know how to deal with it. But now she enjoys playing with him a lot, and he was inside, and we were trying to get them outside. So we opened we had the like door open to the backyard, but we had it closed for a bit because they weren't going outside. So we just had like the screen door open, and he wanted to go outside, and he was very fast, and knocked the screen door off of its hinges in his attempts to get outside as quick as can be.
You are very low on health.
Yeah, I need to do something about that, but I don't have any healing items on me, because I've already had to use them.
Hey, you didn't lose yet.
Yeah.
You got some Lionel guts. You got some Lionel guts.
My kitty is making it hard for my image recognition software to work properly.
Yeah.
Your cat is like very strange about how much it really wants to just sit like on your chest.
Yeah, she's weird like that. She is a good kitty, but she's a very strange one.
The good ones usually are.
Much more affectionate than I ever actually expected from a cat.
I don't know why people think cats aren't affectionate. I have never had a cat that isn't affectionate.
I have never had a cat prior.
I think they're just not affectionate in the way people think they will be. Like,
Yeah,
people expect dogs or like other people or other things, but like cats are just very different.
Yeah.
Cats are affectionate on their terms, not yours.
Yeah, but like a lot of times their terms are also people's terms, and they just like didn't know because they've never had a cat, and they just heard everyone say, "Oh, cats are bitches, and they don't like hanging out with you." I'll be back in a second. I have to use the restroom. Mizuki, we're not going downstairs.
Well, Mizuki's going downstairs. Mizuki's going downstairs. Loot, is it time to take all of your toys out of your toy box and then just strew them around the house? Is that what time it is? Is that what time it is?
Sounds like it to me. Sounds like it to me.
Yeah. 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 It does. It does. I like how slowly, the garbage is taking over the screen. The garbage is taking over the screen.
I've returned.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, like, our cat is, like, incredibly affectionate, except he's just never allowed to be. Because whenever he tries, Mizuki gets jealous or mad.
Yeah.
She gets jealous of us, like laptops, if we have them in our lap, and like will be upset about it and make us move them so she can sit in our lap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
She also lets you know when she wants to be under a blanket by just like slapping it and you until you let her in. And what we didn't know was this also includes if she wants to get under your arm, she just slaps your arm. Repeatedly. So like if you're like just sitting there waiting, like you usually get like scratched up a fair bit because she just wants to be under your arm. And then you move it and then she sits there for like 30 seconds and she's like, oh, never mind, it was more comfy on the other side of the couch, and then goes back and you're just like, okay, I have more health going into this one, so we'll see how it goes.
Not a whole lot.
No, but I do still have an apple to eat if I need to.
Okay. Okay.
This is a difficult mission because it's you have to protect your 2 strongholds while also taking over the enemy's strongholds, and each stronghold sends a troop at a time every now and then to attack those strongholds. So every time you defeat an enemy one, they send less troops, which is important. But you also only have 2 characters to work with.
Yeah. So are you the yellow areas or the blue areas? Yellow areas?
Blue.
Okay. So you start out with more outposts.
Okay, we started out with 2. I already took over 2 of them.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
This is one of those missions that's much easier when you have a second player because you can both coordinate where you're going and do stuff instead of you just having to be like, stay here, and then I'll come and control you later when someone's taking over.
Yeah.
And, and you just do that for a while, and you have to like go back and forth. A lot of this game was easier 2-player, unless frame rate is involved. Warriors games are good. Warriors games on the Switch aren't necessarily at their best.
Dang, we've only gone an hour into this.
Dang.
I feel like it's been considerably longer.
We've had a lot of good subjects so far.
Yeah. Yeah. So what have y'all been doing lately? Anything fun? Anything fun?
I mean, aside from running a great campaign on Mondays for stream.
Yeah. Oh, there's certainly a lot of character happening there.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I've been fixing my sprinkler system.
Oh!
That sounds we said fun, Tim. We said fun things. Wait, are you an engineer?
Occasionally.
Ah, see, never mind, I get it now.
No, I think he mostly does writing right now. I think he's an English major.
No, actually, right now I am doing math most of the day.
Oh,
It's kind of back and forth. I do a whole bunch of math, and then I do a whole bunch of writing about the math.
Was that your last apple?
Yeah. But it's okay. From here, I should be good to play as Link for the rest of this mission, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, game. Thanks for having me go to Link at the absolute worst possible time. Oh, and we're back here! I'm so mad. I had to say something. Seth and I are also playing Tales of Xillia, the first one.
Okay.
And we got to what we got to the person who is essentially the fourth big bad that the boss has, or that the game has given to us so far.
Okay.
And after we defeated him, it actually turns out that the third big bad is actually going to be the next big bad, because we never actually defeated him. Because the second big bad. The third big bad showed up, which made us not fight the second one and sort of become uneasy allies. And now he's fighting us again. And I'm just like, okay, I'm very lost on who's bad and who's not. And also, I don't know who half of these big bads are, or I've known about them the whole game, but I only just now saw them and also didn't expect to see them because one of them's kind of just God. So like, it's just, yeah. So when we were fighting the fourth big bad, who is also basically God, characters have mystic arts, which is like their ultimate move, where it like goes into a cutscene and you just watch them do stuff, so you can't dodge it. He used it maybe 30 times in our one fight with him, and it was the most annoying thing that has ever happened to us in one of these games. Literally, like, I'm playing the healer, and in the time it took to res everyone, and then start trying to put revive on them, which causes them to automatically revive when they get to like the 0 HP.
Yeah.
He used it again before I could actually put revive on anyone, so I had to start resing people again. And I was just like, this is fucking bullshit. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, there's like no limiting on like how often they can use it.
Ugh.
And yet he was somehow easier than the previous boss, which was two people who had a non-mystic art that they could just use, but only if they grouped up together, and it basically just could instantly kill us.
Wow.
And it was a sizable AoE, so we just had to be kind of far enough away that it wouldn't do that, but they could just use it like back to back. And we were like, alright, so this is dumb as shit.
Yeah. I know nothing about the Tales of series. Actually, that's not true. I know one thing about the Tales of series, but it's not even really about Tales of. It's mostly about Suikoden, because I did Suikoden facts recently, and there was one that vaguely related. The Tales of Fantasia and Suikoden came out at the same day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one Fantasia is. I don't think it's the first one.
Fantasia's first.
Is it the first? Okay.
Yeah.
Look, there's a million of them, and
yeah.
I won't play 90% of them because they're on like NES and Game Boy and like systems that I don't have easy access to. I would play them for sure.
I mean, they were PlayStation 1.
I don't have a PlayStation 1 anymore, unfortunately.
No. Do you have a PlayStation 2?
Yes. Oh no. Wait, yes, we did. Yeah, we recently got a PlayStation 2.
Okay, then you can still play it because PlayStation 2s are backwards compatible.
But they're fun games. They're enjoyable, especially because they're one of the few JRPG type games that are multiplayer.
No. Except for the new one.
Oh,
yeah.
Except for the new one.
For absolutely no good reason. I literally do not understand why they would do that, because that was one of the big things that sets them apart, and now they don't have that, so
yeah,
not much of anything sets them apart anymore.
Yep.
But on the bright side, the game we're playing now, Zilia, has an entire skit you can watch about your characters talking about bazongas. I don't know why, but it's there.
Cool. Awesome. Cool.
There's a lot of very strange things like that occasionally. You're just like, I guess this is just happening. I would say if you ever wanted to play one, you should play Vesperia specifically with your wife, because one of the playable characters is just a dog with a knife in its mouth.
Okay.
And it's great. Okay. I don't know why, but it's just like the only game they've done so far where you can just play as an actual regular animal.
Is it similar to like Final Fantasy JRPG, where turn-based?
Nope. Real time.
Real time. Cool. Cool.
There's also, so they came up with the definitive edition for Switch, which is significantly better. It just like does a lot of extra stuff that like they would have done earlier if they could, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there's also the basically they released the game, and then a year later they released like another version of the game where like it included another character that I guess they weren't able to do the first time around. Yeah. And it's that's in the she's in the definitive version, and she is who I played 90% of the game for like a lot of reasons, but partially because a lot of her skills are based on luck and random chance. And it's very fun. Because like later on she gets a spell that like when she casts it, it casts a random spell. And it's like from a pool, so it's not just like any spell in the game, but like the spells that it can cast include the best heal in the game. Where it just heals every party member on the field 50% of their maximum HP and like mana over the next couple seconds, or like over the next like second.
Do you have to target the spell though,
No, you cast the spell, and then one of those spells happens.
Okay.
So if you're targeting, like you're usually always targeting an enemy, just because that's you have to in order to fight. And so like if the spell that you cast is an offensive spell that targets something, it'll target an enemy. Otherwise, it will just randomly target. So like healing spells and stuff, generally they're like big AoE that do the whole field for her. The only one that's like random, that's like not offensive, is revive, and so that just randomly gets assigned to people. But you like get skills for her that allow you to like choose whether it's going to be an offensive spell or a like utility spell. So if it's utility, you can just automatically choose to target one of your allies so that you actually put it on them.
Yeah.
But there's another spell in that game called what is it called? I don't remember the name for it, but it basically stops time for like 5 seconds. It's very powerful. The person who can cast it, like the person who gets it to cast regularly, can only cast it a limited number of times before like he has to rest. And I don't remember if that we didn't like that character that much, so I don't know if that means like you have to rest at an inn and then you can cast it more, or like if you just can only use it a certain number of times per battle. But Patty, the little pirate girl, also can randomly cast it. And in trying to heal my party, sometimes I just accidentally cast Time Stop, which obviously only stops enemies, but your allies can still do stop. And I accidentally would cast it like 4 times in a row. And it would end, and the next one would trigger like 1/10 of a second later. So like literally the enemies can't even like do stuff.
Nice.
It was incredible. So it was just like, well, I'm not healing us, but they're clearly not going to do anything to hurt us. So we're good for a bit.
Yeah.
So as long as this next one is a heal, or more time stop, that's fine.
One or the other. More time stop or heal.
One or the other. More time
and
stop
like,
or
I mean, one of her, like, even her, her mystic is, it drops a roulette wheel, essentially down, and she's running around and like trips, and wherever she lands on, it does that version of it.
Oh.
And it can be wildly different ones, including summoning a boss from one of the big bads from another Tales game.
Oh.
Who like his signature mystic in that game was like no items ever, and it basically made it so you could not use items for 300 seconds. And he uses that, and then it does a lot of damage to your enemies, and then you can't use items for 300 seconds. Which is a lot of time when your person who can res dies, and then you have to try to res them with an item.
Yeah.
Just gonna cut in here to say I've got to head out. Night, guys.
Yep.
See ya.
Night, guys. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Just the two of us. Just the
Yay.
two of us.
But like truly, they had too much fun with that character, and like I started playing her, I'm like, oh, these abilities speak to me because they're dumb. Like the like last spell she learns via like doing a quest, just has like 1,000,000 random effects, including like you gain 10 times the amount of XP at the end of this battle as normal, or you gain 1/10 the amount of XP at the end of this battle as normal. So, you know, if you're fighting a boss and you're going to get a lot of XP, so you use that and then you get 1/10 as much XP, you start feeling very sad.
Yeah.
Like, very sad.
Doesn't feel good.
No, not even a little bit. But it could also like multiply the amount of gold you get, or divide it, or just like instantly kill every enemy, or just like bring your entire party to 1 HP. Or just anything, and I'm just like, why does this character exist? Who made this? She also has 3 forms, four forms, which is normal, advanced, brainiac, and critical. And no surprises, the ability that lets you change form randomly assigns you a form. But you get a skill that lets you pick later, but you can't pick critical mode, because critical mode is inherently the best. So it forces you to randomly get it. But all of your skills do different things based on what mode you're in. So to play her, you have to always know what form you're in, and always know what skills, or what versions of the skill you can do based on what form you're in. And it's wild. I don't know why they added this much to one character.
Yeah, that's clearly they had a favorite.
But she's also like an 8-year-old who has like a gun and a sword because she's a pirate, and it's just wild whenever she's in like cutscenes, and you just assume she's gonna pull a gun on someone as like an 8-year-old.
Yeah. Well,
also like the game because there's the pro tag just like doesn't learn anything. Like he just doesn't. He's just like, yeah, I was basically right the whole time. Like
yay!
Your choice for a pro tag. Like during the game, he just kind of murders 2 people, and it's just kind of fun because they're like horrible people, but like he just like doesn't care, and like eventually people find out, and they're just like, yeah, that was bad. No, you're still kind of fine though. Like, I don't know, we just, you know, the pros of being your friend outweigh the cons of you did murder a couple people.
So how big is a party?
So there's a total of 9 characters that show up, but, or at least in that game specifically, but your party is always 4. And like every Tales game I've played, it's a party of 4.
And then you control 2 of them?
Yeah, you can control, or you control 1 character, but you can have up to like 4 players controlling a character each.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I will say, having someone control the healer feels great. Very good to like have someone that you know is always going to be ready to heal you at any moment and knows how to run away from the enemies.
Knows how to run away. Yeah.
Because you know the AI is not horrible, but like they'll run like 10 feet away and then try to cast, and you're like, I mean, they're still aggroed on you, so I don't know if that's a great plan.
Yeah. Not the best. Not the best. Well, I was gonna do more, guesser, but just the two of us doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it's also hard for me to watch it, to like do that while also fighting.
Yeah.
What other segments can we boot up?
I had just pulled up my list of segments.
Oh, good.
Well,
We're
unfortunately,
done with the segment, so we can't do that one anymore.
yeah, and unfortunately, we don't have a guest for this show, so I can't do an interview.
Yuzuki, where are you?
I could
You want an
update my
interview?
Steam.
You can update your Steam. Wait, like your library, or like just you can
No,
update your Steam?
just update Steam. I'm sure it wants me to. It always does.
That is true. Steam loves its updates. Do you think the Steam Boy Advanced or whatever is going to be like that?
Steam Boy Advanced?
I literally could not remember it whatsoever because it's a very boring name.
Steam Deck. Another terrible thing. There's such a thing as a Stream Deck. Made by Elgato. It's actually a really handy piece of hardware that I've been looking into getting, but it costs a lot.
Yeah. Which one? The big one? So I think they have two sizes, right?
Well, here's the thing. I would want the big one, but there's actually three sizes because literally the same day that Steam announced the Steam Deck, Elgato announced a new version of the Stream Deck. So both Steam Deck and Stream Deck were in the news.
That's so funny.
So yeah, that's not difficult at all. For
How big is the new Stream Deck?
Is about a little smaller, I think. But it's a completely new version of it, so it actually fixes a whole bunch of issues. Like, you can remove the stand now, so it's not just one giant piece of hardware. So you can remove the stand, you can make some other changes with it that people have been asking for since the beginning. So,
How much is it?
too much. You want me to look it up?
Yeah. I just have to hurt a little.
Elgato Stream Deck. Elgato does not have a very good store.
It doesn't surprise me.
Shop now. Looks like 149. 99.
It's not horrible.
That's not horrible. It is not the XL though. That's for the standard 15 key. Which is fine. Let me make sure I'm looking at the new version of it. Stream Deck Mark II.
Do they make a new version of the XL?
I don't know. It is really difficult looking things up. Yeah, Stream Deck Mark II, still 150. That's a 15 key.
Yeah.
Stream Deck XL Mark II. Nope, there is not an XL Mark II. It looks like.
Right.
Yep.
Don't be a stranger.
Which, I mean, you think about it, like 32 keys are quite a lot of keys.
It's a lot of keys.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the same time, I can think of things to put on all of those. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking the other day to a friend of the channel, Wombat, and he had never heard of the Stream Deck, and had to explain it to him. He was like, "Oh, why would you need this?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, most people wouldn't need this, but if you do any amount of like real live editing, or you know, if you're at all trying to get into streaming, or honestly, if you're just doing art and stuff, I could see like having buttons to pull up instantly, like shaders and stuff, to just like one button press and it applies the, because it's just macros. It's a macro keyboard. It's just a really nice macro keyboard. And yeah, I mean, you press a button and things happen. Macro keyboards have been useful in just about every single field that spends a lot of time on a computer. You decimated that dude.
Yeah, this is like a level 26 quest. I'm trying to grind some fish.
Okay, fish.
It was like, you decimated that man. It's like, yeah, this man's, it's his third day on the job, and I'm the hero of Hyrule. It's Link, he's already dead. Stop.
You just keep beating him.
Yeah,
yeah, you just... This is cruel.
Yeah, this isn't in any way fair. They give you like 6 minutes to do this for absolutely no reason.
Oh, gotta fight
I mean,
Impa.
early on, it's a little harder. At this point,
Yeah. Can't you control Impa at this point?
Yeah.
And then you win. Did you get any fish?
I think so. I think I saw one, at least.
Yeah, no, like, Stream Decks are just really useful if you're doing computer things.
Yeah.
And
Like,
I do
really,
lots...
really useful.
Yeah, and I do lots of computer things. So... Computer build list. I'd like a Go XLR.
What's that?
It's a. Well, for one, it's a. XLR to USB processor. So you can put in a more professional mic. And second of all, it's a built-in mixer. So it's a hardware mixer, which you generally want. Right now, I've got a software mixer that works great, but it's not it doesn't have the power that a hardware mixer that's literally built to do the job will have. And GoXLR is kind of a streamer cheat thing, because in addition to doing those things, it's also got like the ability to do beeps and change your voice, do voice modifiers and stuff, instant play certain like sound effects and stuff. So it's just an all-in-one tool that I mean it's combines a bunch of other hardware into one. Which, if you are doing anything that requires quality voices, then it's real nice, because otherwise you've got like 6 machines on your desk.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's too many.
But to be fair, this thing costs $549 because it's like 6 machines built into one. Yeah. So it's one of those things that I go, man, I really freaking wish I could have this. But there's no way I'm buying it for myself. Or even asking someone to buy it for me. Like, that's way too much. Way too much. Oof. Oh shit, that's right. I meant to. Oh, now's a terrible time to do this.
I don't know, John. This is. I mean, stream is basically about very strange.
How do I open up my NVIDIA? Stuff. I don't know how. Because it's not under N for NVIDIA. Which is where I initially looked, thinking that.
That's where I would imagine it would be.
Yeah. Well, rip. I got so much software for streaming that I never use. So like I've got the Elgato stuff downloaded because if you use your Elgato, then you like it's best to have the game capture running even if you're not using it.
Oh really?
No, it's stupid like that. Like if you have it up in the background, it just makes everything work better.
Oh, should I do that?
Yeah, you start that first, then plug the Elgato in, then turn on your actual streaming software. Don't
what if I haven't unplugged my Elgato?
Well, then it's fine. Just start it. But like definitely start it before you start your streaming software. And like just ignore that it exists. Just turn it on and it works somehow. It's black magic, but it works. I've got the Nightbot app. I've got the Soundtrack by Twitch app. I got Pretzel, which is also music. I've got a soundboard that I don't use anymore because I've got a voice mod sound. Let's see. All right, Joy to Key that helps you set up a gamepad. VoiceBot, which allows me to use my voice to control things. So, for instance, I would say left, and I would set it up so that left would make me go left. And yeah, no, it's horrible. It does horrible things to games. It only exists to take playable games and make them just unplayably, yeah. But funny, hilarious.
There is one game I've played that had a mod that did something like this, and it was honestly cool.
Skyrim?
And it was Skyrim Yeah, and it was you could say the dragon shouts and it would use them, and that was honestly a fantastic idea.
Yeah. Yeah, you could set that up in voice mod and it would also work. We played, I forget, because we did this on stream a long time ago, and I think it was. I'm trying to remember if this was a personal stream or if this was here, but I remember Tim being there because we we were playing Fire Emblem of some sort. And Tim was there. And we set up the D-pads and stuff, and it was like right is left, like like you said right to go left, and you said like Sweest to go like north. And,
Sweest.
Yeah.
See, I think the way I would want to do it is like you know, for example, if you're playing like an RPG or something where you have access to like your stuff. Like, I would set up everything to be normal, but, like, an important, like, spell would be, like, a different difficult word every, like, 10 minutes. As chosen by, like, chat. It's like, asphyxiation. Just remember how to say these horrible words in order to heal.
Yeah.
Disestablishmentarianism.
Yeah. Pseudo anti-disestablishment.
Yeah, and you just have to remember that word in order to like res before you die.
You're like, shit, I'm about to die. Hippopotamonstrosis equipedaliophobia. That's the
voice
fear of
recognition
long
is
words.
like, yeah, I mean, I'm not that good of a program. I got some of those syllables, but like, I don't know if that's what you said. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. And then you die.
Yeah.
And then I've got a.
I mean, you probably died before you finished the word.
Oh yeah. I've also got a voice changer that I don't use because I have a different voice changer now.
I need to find a good one eventually for when I inevitably become a VTuber.
Good luck, because they don't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, like, good voice changers do exist, but the problem is that if you're trying to change your voice from male to female, it will not work. Like,
yeah.
I've used many voice mods, and they just don't work.
I mean, it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah. And I guess we can play around with them.
So like the stuff I would want a voice changer to do mostly is just like I just wanted to make it sound like like you know I'm in like echoing from a cave and or like an air traffic controller, just like the dumb shit to be able to just do stupid like things whenever you're trying to do stuff in games.
Yeah, that's what I use voice mod for. Which it's the name of a program. How does it sound?
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same? It doesn't sound. Oh shit! That's because I didn't turn the voice changer on. I selected a different voice, but I didn't actually like turn on that it's allowed to change my voice.
That was incredible. Just how's that sound? It's the same.
What about now? How does it sound now?
Yeah, see now you sound really far away, but also echoey.
Yeah. Let's see.
So yeah, exactly. You need to just have that turned on anytime you're like mining in Minecraft. Just anytime you are underground.
What about this? Is this one good? Do you love this one? Is this one good?
That one's definitely horrible.
And then there's things like
You will come to me and I will murder you.
This one's literally so quiet that I can't actually tell what's happening.
You can't tell this one?
Oh, it's kind of it's like if you're trying to be like bad Darth Vader.
Okay, yeah, I mean it's called deep voice. It's called deep voice. There's also evil
Hey, do you remember the fact that in do you ever like think about the fact that in Metal Gear Solid 2 there is like an enemy named Deep Throat, and they just thought that was going to be a good name for him?
You know, I had forgotten that Deep Throat was a character, even though I knew about it, even though I haven't played pretty much any Metal Gear Solid games. Let me pick a different one.
So this is Manta Woman 2. I've technically played Metal Gear Solid, but the Metal Gear Solid game that I played was a Game Boy game, and it was just released as Metal Gear Solid in the West, and it's got a different name everywhere else because it's not Metal Gear Solid at all. I mean, it's a Metal Gear game, but you see, Metal.
I mean, to be fair, that means you played more Metal Gear Solid games than I have.
Technically?
I've just watched any amount of Metal Gear Solid 2 and found out that there was a guy named Deep Throat, which is like, you know what, Kojima?
Metal Gear Ghost Babel for the Game Boy Color. And it was called Metal Gear
Color.
Yeah, and it was called Metal Gear Solid in the West. But yeah, Ghost Babel everywhere else.
That's wild.
Yep, and I played it. And I played it in the predecessor to what would later become Knucklehead Knockoffs.
Ah, yes.
It was not even on this channel, but yeah. So what do you think of this voice mod?
I was actually gonna say, like, should you maybe just turn that off now? Maybe.
I could do this one. How's this one work? Is this one great? You love it? So much? Hey, you guys!
Are you saying something?
And then I can be beautiful!
You know, that one is a good one to have, though, specifically for if you're about to sneeze.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
If you can throw that on right before it comes out, it's excellent.
I had not even thought of that, but you're right.
Oh, I feel like I saw someone do it once, and they were just like, "I did it!" Like they had tried to remember to do it for like months.
Yeah. The nice thing about the voice mod, this is not an ad. Is that it also has a soundboard built into it. So on top of the fact that you can
just use that as your stream deck. I'm sure that you don't actually have anything you want to put on your stream deck that isn't soundboard. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, I would probably put a few things on the stream deck from the soundboard.
For sure.
The problem comes where I forget the fact that I have the keybinds on, and because like voice mod just that's the way my headset goes through now, just by default. So I'd have to go through a bunch of steps to change it to be not this way, and. When I'm typing and stuff, because I set my soundboard keybinds to my numpad, because they're out of the way and you don't generally use them unless, you know, you're typing a bunch of numbers and stuff. Problem is, my work involves typing a lot of numbers and stuff.
Sure does.
And so I'm typing through and like I don't have the keybinds on right now, but like 0 because it takes up twice the space I have as my bleep button. So I'll be typing and I'll be like, and I'm like, shit, no, the submarine's gonna find me and they're gonna hear what I'm trying to tell them. Just die or? Oh no, what are you? What are you?
I'm, you know, a salamander.
Oh, okay. Lizard makes sense.
Yeah.
Lizard makes sense. I guess.
Yeah, for a creature that would be in a volcano, this was honestly their best choice.
Yeah. It just doesn't look like something that exists. I guess. I guess.
It's also the worst one to try to pilot.
It doesn't look as fun as, say, the elephant or
Most
the
of them have like
camel.
really fast attacks or do like really cool AoE stuff. I shoot boulders and my like special ability. Oh, I'm sorry. I do have one cool thing, which is that I can just like rain magma down on people.
That's cool.
And like that one's fine. But like compared to the elephant where your special attack is to lock onto hundreds of enemies at the same time and visually see how many things you're locked onto and then watch as it shoots all of them without you having to like do anything. Real good feeling.
Yeah. And that's something I think game developers don't pay enough attention to, because like something can look kind of cool, but if it doesn't feel good, then you've failed.
Yeah.
I mean, games are a lot about feeling.
Yep. I mean, like, there are plenty of bad games that are fun because they feel good even if they're shitty.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the reason why, you know, despite the fact that Destiny has a terrible track record with telling a story, game feels really good.
Yeah, from the small bit that I played, like, it feels good.
You're getting wrecked.
Again, this, like, everything else has a button that, like, if you're not moving, you can, like, activate it and it basically shields you from any attacks, but you can't shoot or move while it's going on. So it's your way of, like, stopping attacks from hitting you. This version of it is you catch attacks, but only if they're large boulders.
Oh, well.
Which is, as you might imagine, significantly harder to work with.
Yeah, how often does that happen?
Not as often as the developers think it does.
Yeah.
You know what I think might be the only game that or only first-person shooter I have played that feels better than Destiny?
Is it Halo?
Like Chameleons? No. Halo, like, similar felt very good as Destiny, but like Destiny, I like the like movement in it. Like I like the options you have for it. No, I'm talking Trials, or is it Trials Ascend?
Well, yeah, Trials Ascend, or Tribes, Tribes Ascend.
Tribes Ascend,
yeah, the Tribes games feel
godlike
really smooth. Yeah, no, I hate it because I can't like control it with shit. But,
I'm not good at it.
But it still feels just so slick.
You're skiing and shooting people? That's so cool. That feels awesome. No game has let me do this.
We'll probably cut it off. Whenever you're ready here. But yeah, no, Tribes Ascend was really smooth feeling.
Yeah, that I've never played a game like that. Like, if Halo had that, it would be the best.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just the skiing. Like, it was so great because the skiing, everyone was doing it all the time, and it was possibly the most like natural feeling minigame. Like, it did not detract your attention that much from what you're doing, but you always wanted to try to like land well in order to keep your momentum. But it also meant that everyone was moving super fast and no one could shoot each other.
Yeah.
Which also meant that all fights you had with people were basically dog fights. Like, it was never you walk into a room and hit someone with a shotgun and they died. It was an intense fight over like 45 seconds as you two skied around half the map.
Yeah. And then there was always a dick with a sniper rifle who just sat back and just sat back.
Just obviously did not know what kind of game he was supposed to be playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, we would say for sure the person with the sniper rifle is playing the game wrong. What way do people often, but like horribly, play Destiny wrong in your eyes?
Well, they play Crucible. Which is the PvP.
Well, yeah, that'd do it.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not
like,
sure.
Oh yeah, they play Hunter.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Hunter, but
Which one is it? Is it Warlock that like either I don't remember. It wasn't like they got nerfed a lot. It was just like they just didn't have as much as everyone else.
Well, yeah, Warlocks just whenever they get a chance, they nerf them. They're like, oh, hey, it's a Tuesday, time to nerf. Yeah, it's kind of painful. Do you just have to kill each of the big enemies that are Malice?
Yep.
So one Hinox, one Lionel, and one Rock Dude.
Yeah, Talus, I think they're called.
Probably. It sounds
I don't
like a
think
name.
there's a boss for this because I'm pretty sure these are all essentially bosses, and you also have to fight all three of them together.
Yeah. Well, there went most of your health.
Still there, technically. If it's white, it means I can recover it.
Because you're a barbarian?
Yeah, two-handed sword in this game is really fun if you just, like, aren't paying attention enough to, like, ignore or, like, avoid attacks well. And you're just like, I'll just do it like this. So that way if they do hit me, all I have to do is make sure that I'm already using this attack. Two down. Now two down.
Well, I was trying to preempt it.
Well, you did it. Good job.
Thanks.
And a ball.
It is a Talus. A
Hey,
Malice
right,
Frost Talus.
The Malice Talus.
I hate it.
Oh, it might be the third one.
Oh.
Hey! It had a time limit of 12 minutes, and I have 9.5 minutes left. So being level 94 is strong.
94.
And having very high level weapons.
94. And you're almost 95. So
Just imagine how this is on my other account, where the weapon is like 5 levels higher than it is here.
Is there a level cap?
Yeah, once you hit 100, you're done, and I think weapons can go up to 30.
Okay.
But only because of the DLC. I think in the base game, weapons went up to 25.
Okay. 25
Also,
is a more sensible number.
Yes. Can I show you what is, like, just quite quickly, the least sensible number that could have existed in any of these games?
Okay.
Which is that in the DLC, they give you the ability to purchase apples, which is fantastic and should have been in the base game because there's no easy way to farm them, and they are your only source of healing.
Yeah.
But, so they gave you the ability to purchase them, and then you unlocked an ability that gave you a discount. Do you want to guess what % discount you get?
9.
No. It's you know, enough that it's like not 20%. It's that close to 20 and 25%, which are good, but no, it's
23?
23%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 23.
Yeah.
Why? For what reason?
23% discount. 23%.
Like when we got it, when Safe and I got it, we were just like, okay, that's a choice.
That's definitely a choice. That's
Why? Like, is there any reason that you would pick that number?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well. Thanks everyone for coming. We'll see you next time when we don't play this. In fact, we do something very different.
Very different.
And there will be 4 of us this time that we do something very different. And I'm gonna have my hands full switching between 4 different screens. Won't that be awesome for me?
Yay.
All right. See y'all later.
Bye, guys.
See you later.